Corbin Kaufusi, as you mentioned before the break, Jerem, is really, really tall.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine him in cleats and pads?
What if he played basketball? Man.
I think BYU would have a great chance to beat Gonzaga if he did that.
I'm pretty sure they won the last 3 games with him in Spokane, so that's why he retired, because he's like, I'm going out a winner.
Corbin
I'm going to
Kaufusi's
Jim Brown this. I'm out.
Basketball
I am
legacy.
out. 3-0 in Spokane.
What will Corbin Kaufusi's lasting football legacy be at BYU? We go 2-on-1 all access after practice with the BYU defensive end. Corbin, what's the best part about having a bye week as a football player?
I'd say the best part is probably just preparing yourself for the next game, and you have a lot more time. More than anything, you can really evaluate things. The season goes so fast. Every week it's like, okay, you got to watch a whole nother team and, hours of film about that team, and so you feel like you can't really go over the things that you missed. So the bye week is the perfect time for that.
I rarely feel like a hobbit, but right now,
yeah.
I think you're. Maybe we should. Yeah, you're in your heels, so I feel like I'm 5'7" or something right now. What's the biggest challenge of being a 6'9" or 6'10" football player?
Pad level, easily pad level, because it's when you're tall, you want to be tall, so you stand up. But that's opposite in football. You want to be low as you can, have leverage, and so that's my biggest difficulty.
Unless you're trying to block a kick, then you won't get up.
That's like one of those rare times I'm like, yes, get to use it. So. It's good.
Is there anybody on the football field that you have stood next to in your entire BYU career and felt small?
Oh, we all know who that is. Big Mo Techie, man.
Okay.
My brother Mo. Just because he's just so big. Like, he's a presence. He's not as tall as me, but I look over and I'm like, that's a big guy.
The fan base, wants wins. You guys want wins. Everyone wants wins. So what's kind of the attitude of the team now that you're off the bye week, you're in a game week, and you're trying to rebound from a 1-3 start?
I think you kind of have to come into it with just chip on your shoulder a little bit. You can't come off the bye week and kind of be chill. There has to be some intensity. There has to be a mindset that we're going to win, but it's not going to be given to us. Like, we have to go and take the win. And so that's been huge for us this week.
Much has been said about the players-only meeting. What was your feeling when you left that meeting with your brothers on the football team?
It was pretty neat. The feeling was like, let's go practice, or, it's still like 8, 9 o'clock at night. It was like, let's go lift. I don't know. Let's go hit a punching bag. Everyone's just so hyped up. And that was the best part about it, is that kind of got everyone going, gets the wheels turning.
So it was at night at LaVell Edwards Stadium. Who informed the team that, hey, we're going to have this meeting?
I think some of our captains told the coaches, and then in turn they sent it out on the big team group text, like, meeting at the stadium, players only.
Did anyone that wasn't a player try and get in? You're like, hey, players only.
Thank goodness no, but I would have loved to see what happened if someone tried to get in.
Jerem was upset he didn't get invited.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Yeah, someone scaling the side of the stadium,
Players only, yeah.
How long did that meeting last, and what was it like? Was it an open forum? I mean, how did that go?
We like to keep it pretty close to the chest, and so, it was mostly just players talking. There's things that we need to resolve as players, and that's a big part of what a team does. It's not just the coaches trying to resolve things. It's we got to resolve things ourselves with them.
How has that manifested itself this week during practice?
I think everyone's a little bit more, on edge. Everyone's running around a lot harder. We might be getting in each other's faces, but you need that.
When you look at the next opportunity, and I'm glad it's a Friday game, it's one less day you have to wait, right, off a bye week. Utah State, big game. They're hungry. BYU's been in this situation in 2010, 1-3 going up there. How do you guys avoid a 1-4 start and get to 2-3 and get back to winning ways?
I think the biggest thing is just focusing on this game, and kind of what I was saying before about having an edge. Like, you have to go into this game with it's a totally, I guess, not a completely different mindset than any other game, but there has to just be more of that hunger for the win.
Utah State puts up 61 points on San Jose State. What have you seen on film that causes you some concern and has kind of made you think, okay, we've got to execute at a high level to beat these guys?
I think just, watching their offense in general, it's pretty quick in the way that they do things. Their passes are fast, so they're trying to get the ball out quick, and they're trying to do these little screens on the side and whatnot. And so the biggest thing for us is not only playing our technique, but reacting fast enough to what they do.
How can the defense help the offense and vice versa? Because it is a team game, although there is kind of a distinction between the three units.
Yeah, I think, first of all, turnovers. That's huge, and we haven't been getting enough on defense. And so if we can get turnovers for the offense, give them good field position, if we can even score with a turnover, that's huge. It gives the offense, something to play harder for. And then also just field position. It's nice that, they can drive all the way down the field like they have in other games that we've played recently, and then we stop them or they just get a field goal. And it's like, sweet, we held them to a field goal, but that's not good enough. You have to stop them deep in their own territory, so they're kicking to the 50, and the offense just has 50 yards to go.
So right before the half, do you want to be the Tomasi Laulile of 2017, who returned a fumble all the way?
We watched that over and over again, that we're like, dang, Mossy, you can run with the ball. So, hey, if that happens, that'd be great.
When you look at what BYU football wants to become, and the coaches have been kind of outspoken, especially after the Wisconsin game, like, look, we aspire to be a team like that. What did you learn from a team like Wisconsin that will help you be better as the rest of the season progresses?
The big thing I saw with Wisconsin is just their high level of, execution and just discipline. And not only that, it's just you could just feel that they wanted it so bad. And it's not that we didn't want it, but for a big team to always come with that feeling of they want it. When the guys are blocking you, they're kind of growling, they're going after it. And so we got to have that same mentality.
Yeah, you obviously want sacks, but is the pressure on the quarterback kind of where you want it, or where do you guys want to be?
We always want to have more. There's not enough sacks, there's not enough pressure. So that's something that we definitely need to work on. And I think even more than that, this game specifically, I think we need some bat downs because they're going to go with a lot of quick passes. It might be out before we can even get 3 yards up the field, even if we're not blocked. And so it's we got to get our hands up and make sure that those quick passes don't get out very far.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You're the last person to have a quarterback sack for this BYU football team, right?
Yep. And so we got to change it. Yeah. We got to change it, man.
Yeah. Give us an idea of, on this team right now, like you said, at 1-3, the urgency, the motivation that you guys have. Because some teams at 1-3 would be like, what are we playing for? Yeah. So what's kind of the energy level you guys have right now?
I think it's, you kind of get back to, it's the whole idea of an animal gets backed in the corner, and you think a lot of people might think that it's over. And that's, for me, that's my favorite place to be. It's when no one thinks you can do it. Everyone's giving up on you, because that's when you can shine. And so I think that's where our team is right now, and we need to have even more of that coming up for the rest of the week, is that, who cares what everyone else thinks, because we know what we can do, and we're going to do it.
What do you feel like a win would do for this team psychologically?
I think it'd be huge. I think just going into the rest of the season, that's huge for us, especially against Utah State, because they're not an easy team. Like you said, the San Jose game, wow, they played great. And so if we come in with a victory, that would just change. I don't know. I think it would get more people to buy in.
Sure.
Last year you said that Bronson was texting you every day. You were communicating every day. He's playing now, so I wonder how much time he has. But what's the communication like now with Bronson?
It's the same. I still get calls from him every day. Probably going to walk to the locker room right now, get a call from him, and hear about it. But it's really good. And the fun thing is now I can ask about his team. Instead of him being injured, asking about what he's doing, it's more of, what's your team like? What's our team like?
Is that a must bring back something from London for you situation from him?
Wait, say that one more time.
Does he need to have bought you some in London?
I don't expect anything from him. That's
just a phone call.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want him to have anything on me. He's already good enough brother as is. So.
Okay. No favors. You owe me no favor.
Okay, at least you're taller than him, right?
Yeah.
How is what is your mom worried about right now more? Her son's play on the field or the election in Provo from mayor, right?
Yeah. I think, that's hard, because more than the way I play, she's just worried about my physical well-being on the field. To be honest, she could care less how well I do. She cares, but it's more of if I come out and I'm injury-free. That's what she cares about.
Because she needs you to do stuff for the election, is that?
Maybe, no. Yeah, but so she definitely just cares about my physical well-being, and the election's huge, though, so we're excited.
Yeah, Mayor Kaufusi has a nice ring to it, right?
Yes, it does. There's some positive PR from family members.
Yeah, that might be your nickname if your mom wins. You're the mayor now, the mayor of BYU football.
Son, I got to be on my best behavior.
First family in Provo. Yeah, exactly.
Corbin, let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma. We haven't done this a lot with the football team.
Maybe that's that's on us.
Maybe
I don't know.
We need to step up our game.
Yeah.
Let's have a
We're
host-only
gonna
meeting.
have a host-only meeting. You're not invited.
Okay, let's distribute the karma.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, we're distributing the BYU Sports Nation karma.
Good. We need that. No.
Corbin, thanks for the time, man.
Hey, thanks, guys.